but okay. And let me ask you a few questions. How many of you want to transform your life? Do you want to change your life?
Yes, why not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you want to get success?
Definitely.
Very
Yes, sir,
much
of
required,
course,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
sir.
Okay. And please turn off your hands, turn down your hands, those who are raising physical hands, please, because my video is going down. And I only get motivation when I see my video on my screen. So please. Yeah, great. And yeah, how many of you have health issues in your life? Are you suffering with any health issues? And do you want to be super healthy like me?
Always super healthy, sir.
You're already super healthy. Or wanted to be. Okay. There are a lot of people are suffering with health issues. There are a lot of people wanted to succeed in life, and there are a lot of people wanted to achieve something big in their lives. Whatever you have any dreams, whatever you have any expectations from your life, today's session is going to give answer for yourself, okay, for your questions or for your problems. And yeah, what I'm going to explain till the last slide, just have patience. Whatever the doubts you have, you may get answers for your questions, okay, and how it can be possible and all I'll show you. And today's science, what I'm going to share is going to give a lot of knowledge, okay. Yeah. Let me share my screen and start today's presentation, okay. So I hope any fast catchers, did you observe the title? It's there on top. You can guess. Have you seen on top? I think I have not renamed. I've just made it as it is. I thought you will be observing to look at or guess the title. Okay, if not, then let's start today's session without making much delays. And because we have something more to discuss. The title of today's presentation. Yes. Random guesses.
Like
Human cycle.
negative or positive vibe.
Thoughts, ideas.
Ideas. Power of our body.
How our
Mindset.
thoughts can change our health.
Okay, great. Thank you for guessing.
Transform our
How
life.
your thoughts change the brain and the body. And whatever you have listened so far, it's well and good. But what you are going to listen today is going to change your complete perspective of how thoughts can really transform your body and your brain, and how these two are very important. We are going to see in today's session. And from the body perspective, as I mentioned in epigenetics concept, how many cells we have in our body?
50 trillion cells.
50 trillion.
50
Trillion
cells.
cells.
50 trillions.
50 trillion cells. Okay. So, okay, fine. How many neurons we have in our brain?
86
billion.
86
86
Approximately 86
billion.
and 100 billion neurons. Okay.
billion.
What is 1 trillion equals to?
10 to the
Ten
power
to the
of
power of
12.
9.
10 is to power 12.
12, sir.
Trillion.
10
to the power of
10 to the power of 12, sir.
10 to the power 12.
Billion.
Billion 10 to the
Power
power
of
of 9,
9.
sir.
10 to the power of 9.
9.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Now you're all focused here. Let's start today's session. How thoughts can change the brain and the body, and how it really happens. A lot of people say that think positive so that you will get, and think like this, like that. There are a lot of people tells, but how exactly it happens biologically in our body and in our brain, and what really contributes towards change in our life, and how did I transform myself, or how did great people transform their lives, and what is that one technique which I can give it to you, which really transformed my life. Along with my life, there are so many people's lives also transformed by this one technique. And that technique I'm going to introduce first and tell you what is that one technique you should implement in your life to change your life from now onwards. And if you're already doing it, well and good. If not, then this one technique, you have to live with it forever in your life to achieve anything in your life. And I will tell you how it works and all with deeper science. But let me first introduce What is that one technique can really change your life? And that technique is called as a mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal is nothing but closing your eyes and then repeatedly visualizing what you really wanted in your life. Okay. So this technique is basically closing your eyes and repeatedly imagining performing an action and mentally reviewing the future you want and who do you want to be. So you want to job, or you maybe wanted to have a good health, or you wanted to have a big bungalow, car, whatever the dreams you have for yourself. So generally what people have, they have wishes, but mental rehearsal is a technique which applied by so many successful people in their lives. What they do is they just create a movie in their mind with a sequence of steps, what exactly they wanted to achieve or what they want to become. And a lot of people, as you wanted to become a great communicators and you wanted to become a great successful people in your life, or maybe you wanted to become a super disciplined and motivated person. So you know that how it look like when you become a highly successful person, and you know that how it feels like when you get a job. And that entire process, before it happens, you should mentally rehearse it. That is called mental rehearsal. And this one technique can really changes your life, and how it changes and how it works, I'm going to introduce today. And this process involves thinking about your future actions, what you really wanted, thinking only, not about doing. First, thinking what you wanted to do, mentally planning your choices, what kind of choices you should take to achieve your dream, and focus your mind on new experience. Think of that you wanted to get a job, that is your future goal. And for that, what you can do, you can envision yourself, means visualize yourself that you already got a job. And then just select the choices, what are all the choices you are going to make if you get a job. And then also make sure how you feel, like what kind of feeling you are going to get the moment when you get the job. So if you can visualize these things in your mind repeatedly over the period of time, then that experience becomes your present reality. So your present reality is now, currently what is your present reality is, you are very disappointed that you don't have a job, and you're so frustrated and you're feeling hopeless and you're feeling very negative about your future. This is what your present reality. But this mental rehearsal, what it will do, it will change your present condition, means it will change your thought process. As you are thinking about your future, what you really wanted to achieve as an outcome, what is your destination or outcome, as if you already achieved it and living in your future in the present moment. That is a mental rehearsal. Suppose I wanted to become an international public speaker, and for that, that is my destination. For that, what I have to feel like, I have to mentally, visualize that how I am performing on the stage with a suit and then a watch and polishing shoes and very good structure and physique and thousands of people. That kind of visualization I have in my mind every time. And then I feel so much happy because there are thousands of people are waiting for my sessions and for my seminars to listen. And after the session, there are so many people are coming for autographs and photographs. So that is something I have envisioned for myself for the future. And how am I feeling? Obviously, that is going to give you so much of happiness, and you feel a lot of great insight within you, right? And that feeling I can feel now itself by closing my eyes and by mentally rehearsing. So this is the one technique which was used by a lot of great people. I'll tell you the stories also, who used it, how they used it, what they achieved in their life. And I will show you my real life example, how exactly I used to reach where I am currently, and how I'm going to reach in the future also. It is also getting recorded, right? So again, one day I'll show this particular clip also in the future. And let's move what exactly the mental rehearsal is planning actually. What it will do is, you are giving your body the taste of new experience, the future experience after you achieved something. Now your body is tasting some of the negative experience, some of the different feelings. But if you are just keeping the future outcome in the present mind, then your body gets a new chemicals. Okay, your body released with the new chemicals, and your body tastes something new experience, and it is like you are living your future in the present moment. Okay, that is what the particular talk. And as I mentioned in my previous sessions also, your brain and body doesn't know the difference between reality and visualization. Remember this, your brain and body doesn't know the what is real and what is visualization. And there are a lot of times men can easily relate with this particular example. generally when you are having a sleep and if you have any lust related dreams and all, you may have nightfall, right? You are not physically involved in that particular activity, but you still have that particular sperm release in your sleep, right? So how this happens? Because your brain is processing that information in the background, and then you actually get that particular feeling or emotion. So that's what brain doesn't know what is real and what is visualization. So this is the very big boon for us that the brain doesn't know. So as your brain and body begin to believe that they're actually living in a new experience in the present moment. That's what I said, right? Your brain and body believes that the future is already in the present moment, and that will open up new possibilities in your life. And your brain and body no longer the record of the past. Generally, what happens now, John, don't show your artistic skills. Please behave like a mature person. Okay, 1 minute. I'll remove you from the class if anybody makes such kind of things. 1 minute. I'll just. Okay, fine. So don't behave. Okay. When I'm in flow, then let me continue with my flow. And your brain and body present now, what is happening when I ask you to speak in front of 100 members? You had a very terrible experience in the past for you. And if I ask you to speak, then what would be your condition? Would be you may get trembled and you feel like shivering and you don't get a words properly. And that is something you had that experience in the past, and also sometimes you've tried and failed. And whenever you're trying again second time also, you might be experiencing the same kind of feelings and emotions and same negative thoughts. But with this technique, you are not, you are in the present and you have past and have future. Every time what is your life goes always to the past and present. But how my life goes is my life goes from present to future. So my future is something is always my reference point. But in most of your lives is your past is your reference point. Every time you go to your past and recall all the bad memories or experiences which you had, and that controls your present. And when every time you're recalling your present, then your past, then you are living in the past. You are not living in a future, or you are not living in the present. And that's what it really says. When you are practicing mental rehearsal technique, then you are living new future in the present moment, not the past. That's why your brain and body, they are no longer a record of past memory or past experiences. So this is something I want you to understand about mental rehearsal technique. And now whatever you created in your mental rehearsal, now it is a new map, the road map for your future or future destination, what you really wanted to achieve in your life. And then a future that you created in your mind, that the future whatever you want, right? In your mental rehearsal you started practicing one technique, and that future is going to be your new reality, and whatever you have created in your mind. So I will tell you how these things happens and why did I am saying that mental rehearsal technique and how did it help to me and to help to others. To understand this concept, let's go over some of the successful stories where a lot of successful people have used this mental rehearsal technique, and how did they successful in their life, and how and what we can learn. And there are real people living in front of us, and some of you already listened some of the names, some of the people might not listen, but today you are going to get to know. And first and foremost story of a person named called Nathan Sharansky. Okay. And I will tell you the story of this person. This person is from US and used to work in a USSR, Russia. Okay. When he was working in Russia government found out that he's spying to the America. He's leaking all the data of military to the US. Then what Russian government did? They put him in in one jail. And when the jail condition was, it was very small jail with a lot of darkness inside, and there was no big room, very small space in that room, and freezing temperature. Okay, freezing temperature. And also there was nobody there to talk to him, and he stayed in that jail for almost 400 days, and then after that he moved to other jail and stayed in jail for 9 years. When he was staying in the jail, what he wanted to do is, because when you are staying in such kind of closed space, you will die, lack of mobility, because you're not moving your body and brain, and then after some time your body and brain get deteriorated and it will get damaged and you will eventually die. But what this person wanted to do is, he wanted to make his brain work. and he planned to play a chess game. But in the jail, nobody gives you chess board and opposite person and pawns, right? What he did was he visualized that 8 by 8 squares in his mind and then wanted to play chess game in his mind. Think of how difficult it is to keep all the 64 squares in your mind with all the different pawns and kinds in his mind. And he also wanted to play, but he also need opponent person, right? He visualized himself because he's all doing in his mind. He visualized the world number one chess champion player at that time was Gary Kasparov as his opponent. Then he started visualizing the entire game as if he's playing every day, and every day used to play in his mind. And like that, he continued to play every day with that opponent. After 9 years, US government appealed to the Russian government, and then Russian government released him. And then later he moved to Israel. After that, he immigrated to Israel, and there he became a cabinet minister. After almost 15 years, then this Gary Kasparov, Israel conducting some chess game competitions, and this Gary Kasparov came to Israel to play chess game, 1 against 25. The Gary Kasparov number one champion is playing against to 25 members, and this number one champion defeated all the 24 members, but he was defeated by one member named called Nathan Sharansky. An entire world was shocked. Who is this man, and how can he defeat? And then he told in his interview that every day I was playing in my mind and I am defeating him, and it was not new for me to defeat him. And this is the mental rehearsal technique used by this man named called Nathan Sharansky. And then he defeated world number one champion. And he is the one real life example in front of our eyes how mental rehearsal helped him to make his brain active and then make it reality. Whatever he did in his mind, it became reality. And very interesting story, I got to know about one more person named called Jim Carrey. Does anyone know who is this man? And I'll tell you about his story. This young man really had a very big dreams, and he came to America to become a good actor in Hollywood. And when he came there, he didn't get enough opportunities, and nobody believed in him. And what he did was he wrote one particular paragraph. In the paragraph, it was mentioned that I am meeting very great cast and I'm getting great opportunities in my life and I'm getting so many new offers and I'm getting a lot of money like that. He started writing and I'm meeting the right people and I'm making the right scenarios for me to become a great actor like that. He wrote everything in a passage. And every day evening, he used to go to one hill station and sit there and read that paragraph and visualize everything what he wrote on the paper about his future, what he really wanted to become as a great actor. And then he continued to do it every day, visualizing every detail and by just thinking and by feeling how he was feeling once he became a great celebrity actor. And that is what he did. And also, along with writing with the particular paragraph, he also wrote $10 million check to himself, saying that actually this he wrote this check in 1980. On the check, he wrote 1980, 1995. In that year, he wanted to get $10 million for his movie, commitments or deals. Then exactly in the 1994, he got three offers, and then in 1995, he got $10 million check, exactly the same number he got for his movie commitment. And it was for all those years, for the 10 years, he was carrying this check in his pocket that one day it will become real. And he was keep on visualizing himself and mentally rehearsing the future he wanted to create. And exactly he created same amount of money he got from the movie production. So these are the two members whom we can really see that how mental rehearsal technique they applied in their life. One person applied to get success in terms of sports and one person wanted to get success in terms of career, and these two people applied this technique. And not only these two people, I am going to reveal some more people whom you might know, and they also applied the same technique to change their life and create the future they wanted by mentally rehearsing, by ignoring their present condition, by only thinking about the future. Okay, does anyone know who is this man? He's a basketball player, very well known basketball player.
Is it LeBron James? Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. Okay. He's the man who always visualize how he is throwing his ball and all. Every time he visualize how he is playing in the court. And then he ended up, playing very well and he became a very, best player in basketball. And this man name is called Jack Nicholas. I don't know whether you know or not. He's a golfer. And every time, whenever he plays golf game, before playing, he visualize how he is, moving his bat and how ball is moving from here and there and how it is entering into the hole. He completely visualize every time and then he make moves after visualizing. And he do visualization means mental rehearsal every time. And that helped him to become a very great athlete in the history of golf. And do you know who is this lady? Okay. Her name is Oprah Winfrey. Okay, she is a American TV anchor and host and also actress. And she was from very poor background, but she had a very big dreams about her future. That every time she used to visualize herself, hosting the TV shows and comedy shows. And then she got a very different fame and name, and everybody knows her, and she is earning in billions now. So how did this happen? Because she always believes in visualization. She mentally rehearses every time before, because people used to reject her color and because of her appearance and all, but still she used to rehearsal everything in her mind what her future should look like. And then she eventually become a TV show anchor and host. And now she is a well-known celebrity to most of the people, not to you, because you are living in a separate world where the world full of entertainment and enjoyment and fun and memes. But whereas the great people who wanted to achieve, then she is well-known figure to most of the people. And they, she gave a lot of motivation to the younger generation. And she also tell and suggest everybody use your power of visualization and manifestation. It really works. It worked in my life, and I'm sure that it will work in your life also. So these are the some of the real life stories people where they apply. Not only these people, and our own Indian cricketer and famous cricketer Virat Kohli also told in so many interviews that how he visualize every time before going to play match, and how he visualize in his visualization every time he attack the bowlers and he hit the ball like that, and he every time chase the big targets. He also uses the same technique, and a lot of people told, if you listen to successful people interviews, then you will get to know these points. Okay, now you understood that mental rehearsal is a technique which a lot of great people practiced, and they achieved big success in their life. And now let's see how it works and why it works. Generally, I talked about stories, but if I tell the stories, then there is a science and psychology behind it. And let's deep dive into the science behind how it happens and why it happens. And also, let me tell you what exactly these people have done before revealing the science. What all of these individuals have common is that they eliminated external environment. Okay, they just eliminated the present environment where they are. Even though they are in the mud or slum area, but still they eliminated that, and they started visualizing that they are in a very big cars and bungalows or something in the future, whatever they have. And then they got behind their bodies. As I mentioned, brains, the thoughts are the language of the brain and the feelings are the language of the bodies, and their present feelings and emotions they surpassed, and they started taking the future feelings and emotions. That means they ignored their present body have a feeling of disappointment and loss and something failures, but their future is something having full of excitement opportunities. So they just went beyond their bodies, and then they also transcended the time, means they are not living in the present, they are living in the future. So these are the three elements you need to keep in your mind to transform your life. One is your environment, external environment, what you are in. And also you need to transcend your body means the kind of feelings and emotions you are going through right now. You should let go of that feelings and emotions, and try to adapt new emotions and feelings that is going to transform your body. And then you have to move from your present to the future, then your future becomes your present. So these are the things they have done, and they created in the material world what they have manifested or started visualizing in their mind. So in the whatever in their mental realm means in your own mind, whatever you visualized, they manifested it outside. So these are the people have used this mental rehearsal technique, and they did in their life. And along with that, let me also tell you these are the real life stories which happened, and people have not deliberately conducted tests on them. But there are some of the scientists have conducted some tests on the people. They have conducted some experiments on the people. And first, I will talk about the experiments, and then I will tell you what exactly that experiments worked and how what is the science behind. So first and foremost study which was conducted Okay, in the year of 2007, and this study we call it as a power of visualization. In this study, what they did, they took some group of members, take example of 50 members, and what they did was they took these 50 members and they divided them into two equal groups. And the first group of people, they started practicing the piano with their one hand with the five fingers, whereas the other group people asked them to visualize that they are playing without moving their fingers in their mind itself. They are visualizing, they are moving their left finger, right finger, like that. They did without moving. They have just closed their hand and did not allow them to move their fingers. Whereas the first group of members really practicing the piano, and these two group of people every day they practiced 2 hours for 5 days. And after some time, what they found out that before practicing and after practicing, before 1 week and after 1 week, they did a scanning on their brain. And I told in my previous presentations, if you have attended, even to move your little finger also, there is some brain neuron is connected with. Okay. And there is some areas in your brain, and we, especially to movement, we have a motor cortex in our brain. Okay. Motor cortex in our brain. And I will tell you in the future slides. And to move your little finger also, that brain neurons should fire. Then only you can move your finger. And that's why if you see paralysis people, they can't move their fingers because their brain will not fire at that region, and because of that half of their body get paralyzed or their hands or fingers don't move. But in these people, before scanning and after scanning, in both the people brain structure has changed. The place where their movement for their fingers, that area become bigger because of the practice they did every day. And the people who did physical practice, their brain area improved. Whereas the people who did just mental practice, they just visualized in their mind, also, in their brain also, there is a physical change in the brain structure. Means more number of neurons increased in this region called motor cortex. That shows how just visualization can increase your structure of your brain. Okay, how it structured. So this is something a very groundbreaking, scientific evidence that by just thought alone, how you can change your brain. That's the title. With the thought, how you can change your brain. In this experiment, people have conducted that and concluded that even without moving your body, if by just visualizing that you are moving your body, that can significantly have impact over the physical changes in your brain. Okay, that was similar changes. There is no difference at all. That you can't even differentiate that who practiced really and who practiced mentally. So that is a scientific study which was conducted, and this is what a mental rehearsal can do in your brain. And now let's move to the second scientific study which was conducted on the people. In this study, what they asked to do, they asked you to move their little. They again divided into two groups. And in the first group, what they did, they asked group one members to do actual exercise. Okay. So here the image is first one is to mentally visualize that you are moving your little finger, that you are doing exercise with your little finger. Whereas the second group members asked to do real exercise on their little finger. After conducting this study for almost 1 month, and they found out that the people who just visualized that they are doing exercise on their little finger, their little finger strength increased 35%. Whereas the group two who really did exercises, their strength increased by 53%. Means almost they have seen significant improvement in both the groups. Whereas they have not even applied any weight on their little finger, still they could see 35% of strength in their finger. That means how thoughts can impact your body as well. Just now we have seen the number of neurons increase in the brain, that how thoughts can change the brain structure. And here the strength of your body increased, means your little finger strength also increased. So this is the second study which was conducted, where how your visualization can help you to develop the strength in your body. And also they conducted one more study, also third study. In this, they have divided the people into three groups. And first group is where they do the exercise on their bicep. Okay. Where they use real dumbbells to do the exercise. Group two people, they only visualize in their mind that they are doing the exercise on by using a dumbbells. Whereas third group, they don't move their hand. And these three groups, what they did, they have again conducted a test to check how much strength increased before and after. And they did it for almost 4 weeks. And then they found out that the people who used physical training, their strength, their muscle strength increased 30%. The people who are in the second group, they have not used any dumbbells to do any exercise, but in their mind itself, they started visualizing their flexing their bicep. their muscle strength, their bicep strength increased 22%. Whereas the third group people who have not done visualized or not done anything, their strength remains same. So this is how mental rehearsal or visualization can really have a significant impact on your brain and the body, and it really changes your brain structure, and it also really changes your body, the way it works, or maybe the body strength. And all the stories only, then where is the science? And all so far you have seen that how visualization or mental rehearsal can help you to get the strength. And guys, people are sleeping. Sit properly. Visualize what I'm speaking here. Just visualize and connect with your own examples. Then you will get the idea of what I'm speaking, and it really can change and transform your life. Okay, and mute yourself. Okay. Now let's move that how exactly these things happens in your brain, and how and why mental rehearsal work, and what is the secret and magic behind this particular technique, and who exactly can change, and what is really the main hero behind this mental rehearsal technique and how it works. I'll tell you now. Okay, so if you have already watched my brain neuroanatomy presentation, in that what is this area called?
Prefrontal cortex.
Any others?
Yeah, prefrontal cortex.
Okay. So this particular brain area called prefrontal cortex, but prefrontal cortex is one small area of this highlighted particular portion. Okay. It is bigger than prefrontal cortex, and prefrontal cortex is one part in this bigger area. So what is this area is called as a frontal lobe. Frontal lobe is nothing but the area which is right behind your forehead. And prefrontal cortex is one among, suppose think of that frontal lobe is one building, and prefrontal cortex is one room in that building. Okay, like that think of. Okay, so prefrontal cortex also comes under frontal lobe only, but frontal lobe is a bigger area, and this is the main region which is going to contribute so much to your mental rehearsal, and it is responsible for your motor cortex. Okay, so it is responsible for your motor control, means whatever the movements in your body you are moving, then this area is responsible for your movement of your body, fingers and hands and legs, anything what is moving in your body, and that controlled by motor cortex, and that motor cortex is give the power or the mobility to your body. Okay, and it is responsible, this particular frontal lobe is responsible, or function of frontal lobe is motor control and speech production. Now whatever I'm speaking, right, it is because of the area called Broca's area in your brain, and that is responsible for your speech production, and that is also part of frontal lobe only. And frontal lobe functionality is speech production. Whatever the speech means, whatever you're speaking is purely because of frontal lobe. And also executive functions, and whatever the I explained prefrontal cortex, executive means whatever the task which does, especially with decision making. Okay, whatever the decisions you want to make, then this particular brain region is responsible for decision making. And planning and goal setting, whatever you're planning for your future, whatever the goals you are having about your life, then all the goal setting and planning happens with this brain region, especially prefrontal cortex. And working memory, suppose you wanted to remember a pin code or any phone number on the present moment, then that memory is working memory on the moment when it is working, like you remember 4 6 digits immediately, that or whatever I'm speaking now, you are remembering these words, right? This is purely because of your working memory. If you are alert and listening to what I'm speaking here, then only you will learn and understand and remember what I'm speaking. So if you are sleeping, means your prefrontal cortex sleeps. Okay. And then your word, my words will not resist your brain because your working memory is sleeping. Okay. Means your prefrontal cortex is getting dimmer. And your personality and social behavior. And some of the people, especially some people don't know how to behave because their prefrontal cortex is not evolved. And if you look at the kids, and this prefrontal cortex is the most recently evolved brain, and in kids you don't see that much improvement in this particular area. Okay, this brain is yet to develop, and over the over the period of time or over the years, their brain gets better or improved. So personality and social behavior comes under this particular category. Executive functions, or maybe prefrontal cortex takes care of the personality and goal setting, and regulating emotions. how well you can balance your emotions. Sometimes there will be a situation comes, you may cry, but how to control your crying and how to control your, involuntary movements of your body and your voice. This comes with the prefrontal cortex. Okay. So our frontal lobe, this is the brain area. And you can say that prefrontal cortex or this frontal lobe is a CEO. CEO means Chief Executive Officer. And it has a control over all the other areas of your brain. It's a main part in your brain which is going to control every area of your brain. Okay, it has a power. Okay, so now think of you are visualizing about your future. Okay, you are visualizing about your future. Then what CEO does means, suppose you are facing a lot of health issues. Okay, this is one scenario we can take. And you are having so much health issue with your maybe knee pain or maybe shoulder pain or maybe neck pain or headache related things. Now, what this prefrontal cortex can do is it can set intention that now I am having a knee pain in the present moment in this time, but I can visualize myself that my knee pain completely gone. For that thought, your prefrontal cortex, what it will do, it will send the signals to the areas of your brain where it is actually responsible for your knee movement, and it tells that previously what is happening whenever you're having a knee pain, some this area of your brain is started getting firing. Okay, so just I'll show you the image. Okay, think of like, okay, so this is the area and this is the CEO. And suppose your knee pain is having at this particular place. And now what you are trying to do is when you are constantly, instead of looking at your present, you are constantly thinking about your future and then started visualizing in your brain. Then what your CEO will do is they will try to create another area where it will create your new state of feeling. Means you are feeling something very good in your knee and there is no pain. And the brain has one property called neuroplasticity. What it means that when you are repeatedly doing and using something very frequently, that will become more frequently used. And whatever you're not using frequently, that will be eliminated. So this area of your brain neurons will be pruned, means they will disconnect. The actually some of the brain neurons which were connected is creating the pain in your knee. And after your brain is constantly visualizing that you don't have pain and you're feeling so healthy and all, then this area of the brain get eliminated from your brain by the prefrontal cortex because it's a CEO, and create one more place where it can actually cure or give you the health what is really needed. Okay, so your prefrontal cortex has a control over the time perception, because how you're perceiving the time, because of the neurons, there are certain areas in your brain we call it as a coordination centers in our brain, and that gives us a clarity what is the time now and where we are. It gives a clarity about the time and space. But now this prefrontal cortex go and tell them that you just shut down. Okay, you don't give any time perception, you don't give any space perception, and that person don't know that where he is and what is the time now. Then it is easily possible for you to go to the future because of your prefrontal cortex. You getting? Understood? Your prefrontal cortex has the power to take you to the future by just cutting down the signals to the signals which gives you that you're in the present moment, you're having the pain, that will cut down. That it will send and it will call and tell that don't send signals because this person is now trying to live in the future reality. And that is going to become your present. Okay, so just a minute. When you watch twice, then you'll get the clarity. But if you are then, it's okay. And then what happens here is selecting the different networks. Previously, you have a different set of networks for that emotion and feeling. And now your prefrontal cortex will select the separate different set of neurons. And then it will make it work together and create a new level of mind to reflect what you're imagining. So your prefrontal cortex, instead of choosing the old hardwired programs, it will try to select the new neurons to give you the real experience of what you're really imagining in your brain. So this is the science behind the mental rehearsal. Whatever you do it with your health related issues or success related issues, or maybe trying to change the present state of mind with this particular technique. And how it happens, your prefrontal cortex is, or the frontal lobe is the main hero behind achieving your mental rehearsal as a successful real in real life. And I will tell you with a beautiful stories what exactly it will do and how it changes everything in your life. Okay, now just visualize like this. Okay, and how it really happens. Now everything starts from the brain, and first everything starts with our from our previous presentation. What is the in the ladder? What is the first one? in our previous presentation, what changes everything? First,
Thought.
thoughts.
Same thoughts.
Thoughts.
So first
Mindset.
thoughts creates in your brain, and then what thoughts will do? It will send, thoughts creates the neural networks. Okay, means the neurons connected with the thoughts. Whenever there is a thought, then neurons get connected, and that is the neural networks. And then neural networks releases chemical signals. Okay, there is a chemical passes to your brain, and that we call as a neuropeptides, or we have a different names also, neurotransmitters and neuromodulators, which I explained in a dopamine presentation. If you have not watched dopamine presentation, go and watch, you'll understand. Means in your brain, there are neurons talk to each other. Means neuron connect with each other. They don't connect like this. They send some chemical signal. One neuron will send some chemical signal to other neuron. And that we call as a neuropeptides. The chemical messengers, what passes through your brain neurons is called as a neuropeptides, or neurotranslators or neuromodulators. But for now, it's a neuropeptides. And what it will do, this neuropeptides, whatever it releases, it send the signals to the hormone. Suppose my brain, I'm started feeling some sort of fear inside to speak in front of you. Then what it will do, immediately some chemical release in my brain with my thoughts, and that chemical sends to my, suppose there is a gland in our kidney side or maybe heart level. There are different hormonal centers are there in our body, or thyroid glands. Okay, there are different glands are there in our body. Those glands releases hormones, and this particular chemical will go and find different hormonal centers, and now this neuropeptide will go and find the, it sends the signals to the hormonal center. Okay, and this hormonal center is going to signal the cell of the body. Okay, as I mentioned, everything in your body is a cell. Okay, and suppose just think of that, my brain is sending me the signal to my kidney. Okay, and my kidney is having a cell inside. Okay, as you divide everything, and the smallest particle is going to be cell. That's why I asked you what's my epigenetics concept. Okay, and now this cell is going to receive the chemical. Okay, there are some receptors in that particular place, and that is going to receive this chemical which was came from the brain to hormonal glands, and hormonal glands to the receptor sites. Okay, and now this receptors is going to open, every cell have a DNA inside, and it is going to select the DNA inside of your cell, and then it will either turn on the DNA or turn off the DNA. Suppose I don't have a kidney stones in my kidneys now, but when my thoughts are continuously negative, stressful, or maybe fearful, then what happens? I'm having negative thoughts, and that what it will release? It will release a negative chemical neuropeptides, and that will pass to my kidney place. And in kidney, I have a cell that kidney contain the DNA. That chemical what come to my kidney DNA, and now DNA is going to decide whether to create a stone in my kidney or heart or whatever the places it is. Okay, and already everything is there. Whatever the signals, based on that only, either you normal cell will convert as a cancer cell, or different kind of health issues you'll get. Maybe you may get rashes also on your screen, on your skin, because of the chemicals which passes through. And then at this place my DNA becomes negative, means it sends a negative signals. My DNA activate as a negative particular cell, and that is going to cause the health issues. Suppose think of your thought is so positive, so powerful, and so happy, then you will be, your body will be having a very positive signals and positive chemicals, and then your health issue, whatever that tumor in your body or brain, can be eliminated with that. Because now DNA, whatever the tumor have some DNA that got deactivated, and new DNA will be created with the signals we get, which we get from the thoughts. I'll show you pictorial, okay, graphically. So now inside the DNA we have a protein, and that protein decides whether to give you the health or the wealth, or whatever you want in terms of health related or body conditions. And that is going to decide how you are going to live your life, and that is going to have the expression of life. So if you understand this one cycle, then you can change your life miraculously. I will tell you with a beautiful image so that you will get complete overview. Okay, first thoughts. Okay, so first we are having thoughts. This pen. Yeah. So first in your brain you get the thoughts, and that thoughts creates the neural networks. These are all the connections called neural networks. These neural networks releases the neuropeptides, means chemicals, and these chemicals will passes through different glands in your body. Okay, there are different glands are present in your throat you have thyroid glands, and in your knees something like that we have different glands. I forgot some of the gland names. Okay, so this is the one gland if you think, and this gland is going to receive the chemical first. And the moment at that time, this place also have a cell. I told entire body is a cell. At this place, cell is there. Inside the cell, there is a receptor. And that receptor is going to accept the chemical, whatever is released by your brain. And in this, inside the cell, we are going to have a DNA. Okay. And now that chemical is going to turn off the switch or turn on the switch. Okay. Based on the whatever the signal which passes through. And if your chemicals are positive, then you will get a positive DNA activated. If your chemicals are negative, then negative signals are going to activate it. Then where these chemicals are decided by the thought. Okay, thought is going to decide whether you are going to get a negative signal or positive signal, and that is what going to change your life. And now let me tell you with yeah. Now let me show you how it happens and how this impossible becomes possible and what who is really in the background running this show. And suppose I have some cut on my finger. Okay, there was a cut in my finger or my hand. Maybe you met with an accident and then something happened to your knee or maybe on your shoulder or hand. Then you started thinking positively and you started going through some training, maybe medical treatment, and how your body cures or how your brain cures. Okay, and there is a concept called stem cells. Okay, did you hear this word called stem cells anytime? Okay, I will tell you what is the beauty of the stem cells. Okay, so stem cells are like a kind of whatever your body is completely cells. Okay, and stem cells also there is no difference. You can't find the difference between normal cells and stem cells. And what exactly stem cells and why it is so important means they are not different from other cells. It is same, but this particular cell, just imagine that now I have a mud. Okay. Now I have a mud and a clay. Okay. Just think of it. I have a clay. And now I wanted to create one bottle with that clay. I can create that, I can use that clay and create a mud, this bottle. Or I have a requirement of creating a phone. I can use that same clay to create a phone. I have some sort of, different. I want a one plate. I want different. So it is something a clay, whatever the requirement it is going to create that particular whatever we need. So just imagine that now you have a shortage of muscle. Okay. Now you have a shortage of muscle because you met with an accident and there was a muscle loss on your hand. Then these stem cells are like excessive cells are stored in our body, in our brain at different places. Whenever our chemical gives the signals, as our thoughts gives the signals, these stem cells are going to go and fit in this particular place. That stem cell is going to become a now muscle. And that stem cell is going to become, suppose I'm having a hair loss. Okay. I'm having a hair loss. And I started thinking positively and wanted to have a regrow my hair. But I don't have enough hair cells in my, in my brain, in my head, okay, on my head. Then I have a stem cells. Now, if I started thinking very positively and wanted to create, then stem cells are going to become a hair cells. And suppose you are having a very, a poisonous blood, and now you are trying to think very positively to change your health, then stem cells are going to become a blood cells. So these cells are going to act like everything. There is no specialized task to these cells. Suppose generally you have hair cells, skin cells, blood cells, heart cells, something like that at different places. You have different specialized cells, but these cells are not specialized cells, they are raw cells. Okay, it is up to you how you want to use them to make the changes in your body and brain. And now the prefrontal cortex sends the signals to use these cells to change your health. Okay, or to cure your diseases, or to eliminate some of the tumors from your body, or to regrow whatever the skin you wanted. Now, if you wanted to have a beautiful skin, then the stem cells are going to act and then can give you the glow which I am having now. Okay, so I am using the same technique, and you can also use so that you'll become more beautiful or handsome. So this is something can really change and help you. And now there are a lot of scientific researchers are conducting how we can use scientific these stem cells to cure all the diseases. There's a very big long studies going on, but you don't have to wait till that study comes because already there was a lot of scientific research and a lot of experiments conducted. And you have to have a positive thought in your mind, then that will change everything. But now I will show you how these things will really happen. Okay, with a story of a beautiful story, which really can make you feel like wow. Okay, so there's a man named called Mr. Wright, and he had a very deadliest disease called cancer. Is having a almost orange size kind of tumor, cancer tumor in his body, and is almost living in hospital on his last days. Like he's almost having last days in life. And as he was sitting or lying in the bed, he was just opened newspaper and started reading something, and he found out that there was a research was going on which can really cure the cancer disease. Okay, that he read in the newspaper. And then that whatever the scientists were trying to find the medicine, he read that, and he told and informed to doctors that I want that medicine now, I want to cure my disease. And now in his mind that that particular medicine is going to cure his disease, and he forced his doctor, please give me that medicine, I want to cure myself. And then doctor, because that medicine is not fully tested and it is still in the trialing period only, but as his patient asked him repeatedly, then doctor also convinced and then gave him that injection or the tablet you can consider. And within just a matter of 2 weeks, his tumor got diminished, like how ice will melt on when you keep it on the stove. In the same way, his brain tumor, the tumor also got completely, the size became very small, and then he almost became very healthy. Within 2 months, he went to home. He got discharged from home and he's living so happily because he believed that that will change his that will cure his particular tumor. Now think of our chart. His thought immediately started creating a new neural networks, and that created a neuropeptides, and that signal sent and made his tumor decrease. And he started living his life, and he got a lot of health back, and he became very young again. He started living his life very happily. After 2 months, he again started reading the newspaper, and he found out that that test was a very big mess and that did not work actually. Okay, he got to know that it is not working. And then first initially he just took that medicine called cribiosin. That's a miracle drug he read about in the newspaper, and he completely got cured and he went to home. After 2 months, again when he was reading the newspaper, he got to know that that was not really worked. It was a very big failure. And within just a matter of 2 weeks, again his brain tumor got bigger. And he again started feeling a health issues, and he again became a sick. Why? Because he started changing now. Again, he started thinking negative. Oh, it did not work. I think again I will get a disease like that. And then again immediately he see the very big changes in his body, and relapse nothing but after seeing very good improvement, again it will fall down. Then he started seeing again his health became worse, and he became more sick than the previous condition. And what doctor found out, okay, let me give him one more injection. This time he just used saline, means just a salt water, and told that no, no, at the time you read that was wrong. Again, they did more trials and found out this is going to change your life forever. And now they found out a new with the same only, but they added something extra, and now it is working very well. But this time he have not used anything, just he took a normal saline and then he injected. And now again he starts changed and started feeling like now I'm going to become very healthy and now my life is going to be set. And this time he became even more healthy. And this time, as like last time he became normal, and again his brain tumor became normal, and he started very healthy life. But unfortunately, he got to know that this also is false, and then it also is not going to change him. After again 2 months, he got to know the real story, and then he slowly started thinking, and then he died. See, what changed him? His own thoughts, nothing else. No drug, no chemical, nothing. Just your own thought created chemicals, what is required for your body to decrease that tumor size, and it made you healthy. But again, when you got to know that it did not work, then your own thoughts created negative thoughts about that situation, and it made you again sick. So this is the powerful story which really can help us to understand what is your power of your brain and the mind and how it really works. So here we have a concept called placebo and nocebo. Placebo, nothing but he believed that the drug is going to cure him, and that it cured. That is called placebo. And whereas in a second condition, he believed that it is not going to help. Means when he think positively and it worked, it is a placebo. When he thinks it works in a negative way, then it is a nocebo. Okay. In second time, he thought it is not going to work, and then brain started, creating the effect called nocebo effect, and he died. So see how health can be easily altered by just changing your thought process, and not by any chemical or not by anything. So first time it may be, that a drug helped, but second time doctor did not give any drug. It just gave a saline, but just salt water, but still it worked for him. So this is a story which can tell us the chart which I explained, how you can really change the life and how you can really change your health, or for that matter anything. Okay, so now go back to our mental rehearsal technique, and what really it worked and how it really worked. As I said, your frontal lobe helps you to unplug yourself from the body and the environment and the time. If you are going beyond your body, beyond your environment, beyond your time, then automatically whatever the future dream you have, it will become your reality. And your body and brain automatically transforms. And that's what proven in all the stories what I explained. And this man also believed in the future reality. He started getting overexcited that my disease will cure and I'll become very healthy. That healthy thoughts cured him, not the drug or not the chemical whatever he used. And if we have a clear intention of new future, what you really wanted, a lot of people don't even know what they really want in their future. That's why they don't get what exactly they want, because they don't have any clarity at all about the future. Just when you have a clear intention of a future with the elevated emotion, like how it feels like when you achieve that particular goal or dream, or maybe having a good health, and repeat that over and over until you create a new state of mind and new state of being. So that means you started having a new thoughts with that particular goal associated and with the new feelings, then automatically you will definitely eventually get it. And now you are no longer waiting for the change or hoping for the change. You are the change. So that is what going to happen when you use your brain and the body in synchrony, and use the thoughts and the body. Like your body is getting changed with the DNA, right? That is what the body changes, and your brain and body started thinking about the future, and that is going to change everything around. And let me end this with a one beautiful research was conducted, and it really made me feel wow. And I hope it also makes you feel okay. So, in the year of this study is called as a monastery study or youth study or counterclockwise study. So, in this study, what they did was they have selected some of the group of members who are in their late 70s and early 80s. Okay, the people who are elderly men. And what they did, they took this group of members, this group of men, to one monastery, okay, one ashramam. And there, what the setup was, this psychologist conducted means these people actually in their early 70s and 80s. It is, just think of it, is in 1979 the year. But these people wanted, these psychologists, what they did, they created everything around them 20 years ago scenarios. Like they changed how 20 years back used to be there. Just think that now we are all 20 years ago. We don't have smartphones, we don't have laptop, we don't have any internet like that. In 1979 they arranged the setup like a 1959, 20 years earlier. And they arranged the newspapers of 1959, they arranged the TV shows, movies, and sports and everything. They arranged like it exactly looked like a 1959 year. And these people also told them, like the research told them, now pretend that you are 20 years younger than your present age. Now just act like you are 20 years younger. And these people who came there, they started watching a television shows which was played in 1959. They started watching sports of 1959, and they also started eating dishes and having almost every feeling about 1959, and they behaved like that also. Before going to that, taking the people into the monastery, they have conducted all the tests on different parameters. After 1 week, just 1 week, when they came out, what are all the observations they found in that people, because they believed now that they are 20 years younger. And when they tested, their eyesight improved drastically. They started seeing the things very clearly, and they started hearing the sound. Their hearing also improved drastically. Their grip, their strength, whenever they are holding something, when they were holding any grip, their grip strength improved, and their knee joints and all the joints flexibility improved so much. And it became, within just a matter of 1 week, pretending 20 years younger, they actually become younger. And so many people skin also changed. Their skin, people used to have wrinkles, and their wrinkles got eliminated, and they started having a more youthful look, as if they started looking like in their 50s or 60s, like that. See how just by changing the environment and changing their thoughts and changing the time has literally changed the biology of the person itself. How it changed? Again, it started with the thoughts and sending the chemical signals and then sending the signals to your DNA, and their protein started releasing the new DNA or genes, and that genes now turned on off, and then it gives you whatever you need to move your fingers to see the, because your eye also is a cell, right? Then that also in your eye there is a DNA. That DNA got more active or healthy now because of the thoughts. So this is how you can change your body and brain with just thoughts alone. And I'll tell you how this particular technique has really helped my life to achieve what exactly I have. And I'll show you how mental rehearsal I have used for myself. Don't laugh, okay? 1 minute. It was my earlier stage 5 years ago, how I used to look. Let me play the sound. Okay, listen just what I'm speaking here.
Don't feel some fear and all those things. Actually, I want to share I want to give some motivation. Apart from that, from now onwards, we have to set one permanent goal, one temporary goal. Okay, permanent goal, temporary goal. My permanent goal is I want to become a good employee, and after that I want to start my own company. This is my permanent goal. Our temporary goal means why we have both goals means for achieving our permanent goal it takes a lot of time. So we humans we don't have that much of patience. I have got my point. So we need to concentrate our temporary goals, because if we get success, our mind feel something called we will get happiness easily. అర్థమవుతుందా?
It's a Telugu word. Okay, fine. One more. It talked about my goal, where I had a goal of achieving a job and also starting my own, and now I did. And one more. What I have future, what kind of thoughts I have for future.
Then you will not get any interest. Really, after some days, I am thinking that I am making you as a leader for some groups, because I want to help some more people. I want to help some more people. So I am thinking, just I will explain these 2 minutes and I will take feedback, because today I am recording.
Okay. At that time, my class strength was only 4 people, and that too, I don't even know how to speak properly. You see how much struggle I was having to speak normal sentence also. But at that time, I had a dream for my future that one day I am going to make everybody as a leaders, and they are going to help more members, and that's what happening now in our present class. Right? It's just 5 years back. That was the mental rehearsal I had in my mind, in my brain. I started visualizing my future again and again and again, and then now it became reality. And you don't need any other stories. It's my real life story where how scientifically is proven, and in front of you, I am there. And this is what I want to tell you, that we can easily change our lives when you change your thoughts. And that's what I want to prove with this session. And I hope it really makes sense to you to change your own thoughts and to change your own present reality and life. And no matter what kind of communication you have, then think about yourself that you already achieved a good communication skills, and then you believe it that you're already a good communicator. Then automatically all the biological changes, neurological changes happen in your brain and body, then automatically you become a good communicator. Or if you really wanted to have a health, then always believe that you're already a healthy person and you have so much of health and energy, and then you start believing yourself that then almost everything is possible. And I have cured my own diseases by using these techniques only. During that time when I was taking that classes, I had first time only COVID. Okay, I had a COVID at that time. But I read about this kind of concept, and then let me check whether my brain has the power to cure the corona first wave. In the corona first wave, you died, right? Most of the people died with when you are in the first time. But what really made the particular situation means their fears, and I wanted to apply the knowledge whether it will work for me or not. Then I started using that knowledge, and without taking any small pill or without taking any diet, my complete corona went without even me going to check up also, because my sister got COVID and then with her I got. And I know that I had a very severe headache and I lost my taste, smell, and I started feeling so much of energy loss. But let me use my brain whether I can cure this or not, because that was the deadliest and everybody started getting panic. They will die like that. Whether I can survive or not, that was the kind of risk I took, and it worked for me. And at that time, also I had a very big a pain in my ankle, and I had a very big twist and turn in my ankle while I was climbing the steps. Then I felt like when I went to doctor, they told it needs surgery, and already I had a surgery on my knee, and I don't want to go through again surgery on my ankle because it was too painful. And what I did, I started visualizing myself running again, playing cricket again, and started playing every time, and my ankle became so well. Then I started going for small walks every day, and after 6 months, I don't even know when that pain went, and I started playing again and running again. So this is where again, and I had a very big shoulder dislocation on my shoulder dislocation in my gym. And when I went to doctor, then they said it required something, and like I came back and started using my same visualization technique and made my shoulder get again replaced back. So these are all the techniques which I used to make my health very much perfect in all the different areas. And that's why you never see me falling sick or having cough, cold, nothing. How many days onwards you have been joining this class? How many years onwards you have been joining this class? I don't even know. But you never see me coming to the class with a cough, cold, fever, something like that. How? Because of the thoughts which I always operate. I do get inside, but I know that I am getting, and immediately I use the positive thoughts to eliminate it. So this is something, looks something very different science, but I will tell you the presentation is not ended here. Okay.